radicals, absolute hatred on the streets that's happening in Bangladesh. Murtis of deities, considered the most revered in the Hindu faith and Hindu Astha, have been desecrated by radicals. On Tuesday night, on the right stand, we showed you threat letters against celebration of Durga Puja to targeting and forced retirement of Hindu officers in Bangladesh. Tonight, here on the right stand, we get you exclusive visuals accessed by our security affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta. In these visuals, we show you how extremist radicals are trying to forcibly evict Hindu businessmen by using foul language, slander, threats of violence. In one of the videos, the shopkeeper alleges he was threatened by radicals and he was asked to leave his shop forever. There are some very strong words that are being used, ladies and gentlemen. So the video has been, the audio is muted abruptly. Now the second set of visuals. Have a look at this. These are demonstrations on the streets of Dhaka. And what are these demonstrations about? These are protests against permission granted for Durga Puja. This lot does not want Durga Puja in an area where every year Puja takes place. On Tuesday, we reported how several Puja committees had received threat letters and an extortion demand of jazia of 5 lakh taka that was made from them. Now these are people who are saying, no matter what happens, even if it is a year-on-year ritual, we will not allow Puja to happen. This is the radical display of Islamists on the streets, ladies and gentlemen. Then, Durga Puja Pandal. Really disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. Durga Puja Pandal in Kishoreganj totally destroyed, demolished. Islamist hate mongers demanding that Puja should stop and no permission should be given this time. These are pictures of Lord Ganesha's Murti that's been desecrated. Even a Murti of Ma Kali has been desecrated, vandalized, broken. And there's more. They've not just targeted Murtis of Durga, Kali, Ganesha around Puja Pandals and committees. This is an 800-year-old Shiv temple of Narail of Badaghat in Bangladesh that's been targeted. Radical Islamists vandalizing this old Shivling in Badaghat area of Bangladesh. You can see the pictures, it's been caught on camera. They are taking a rod and attacking the Shivling there. This is an 800-year-old temple, ladies and gentlemen. And Mr. Muhammad Yunus says all is well. And that Bharat is exaggerating what is happening with Hindus in Bangladesh. But what are these pictures, and will Mr. Muhammad Yunus please stand up and speak up, ladies and gentlemen? It's a question that needs to be asked strongly. And now, it doesn't stop with murtis and astha and temples. This is in schools. Girls' High School in Rangpur district. Why are these people standing out and protesting? Why are these protests happening? All Hindu girls have been asked to memorize Quranic surahs within a week and come to school in a hijab. And allegedly, Gitopadesha or Gita lessons have been stopped in this school. So you can hear the students standing there and protesting, saying, you cannot impose this on us. You cannot tell us Hindu girls to memorize Quranic surahs and to come to school in a hijab. Why isn't this a brazen violation of our faith? Especially when the school has Gita lessons and it was a mixed grouping of students coming to the school to learn. It's a girls' high school. in Rangpur district. Now we've got response from intel sources within the government. Bharat is taking serious note of these attacks. Government sources have told CNN News 18 that attack on temples and shivling is against the UN minority protection rights. Sources have also said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already spoken with Mohammad Yunus on this matter and that the latter has promised action. But are these just hollow words? Empty promises is a concern. Meanwhile, sources add that Bangladesh is witnessing multiple attacks on Hindus on a daily basis, which is serious. Bharat has said that it will demand a complete probe on attacks against Hindus. But is demanding a probe enough? Are Bharatiya authorities in denial? And are bigots, Islamists only getting emboldened by the day, by the hour in Bangladesh? Columnist Arun Anand, who's been tracking the developments very, very closely, is joining us here on the right stand. Your thoughts on these pictures? And these are not sporadic incidents only in one district. This is across multiple districts from Dhaka to Rangpur. We have shown the at least 5 instances of bigotry and hate and missia. Arunji.
Thank you, Anandji, for inviting me for this discussion, and good evening to all the viewers. I think what we are witnessing is we are looking at it from an Indian perspective, or probably a lot of people are looking at it from a Western world perspective, or sometimes you may call it a Hindu perspective, but let's try and take a look at it from a Muslim perspective. See, what is happening in Bangladesh is it's a typical, conversion from Darul Harab to Darul Islam. So this is the concept which is being the concept of Darul Islam, as we know that, Darul Harab is when territory is not under Islamic rule, and Darul Islam is when a territory comes under Islamic rule. So what we are witnessing in Bangladesh is actually the rule of Darul Islam, or the concept of Darul Islam being implemented, and that's why all these activities are being carried out to send message to the Hindus that either you convert to Islam or you leave the country. So this is also broadly the concept of Darul Islam, that if you don't convert to Islam, then you are either killed in war or you are thrown out of the territory. And this is not this is not an overnight thing which has happened. We had discussed it earlier also, Anandji, that the society in Bangladesh had been radicalized, not only even post 1971 or post 1947, but since earlier 20th century. If you look at the pattern of communal riots there in East Bangladesh, so the portion which we call portion which we used to call East Pakistan, and then it became Bangladesh in 1971. The society has been absolutely radicalized, and the forces like Jamaat-e-Islami have expanded rapidly, and it has gradually also become a playground of ISI and the international forces and the other Islamic radical forces. We know that there is one of the biggest recruitment ground of Islamic radical groups or Islamic terrorist groups is from the Cox's Bazar, where one of the largest refugee camps is run. There is a credible evidence about that. I think till Sheikh Hasina was there, the lid was there on this thing. It's a problem which is not related to Mohammad Yunus as per se. I would say it is a problem. Yes, it is the colossal failure of the Bangladesh government, but it's a society which has been continuously getting radicalized. And I don't know what India can do, to stop the radicalization. Governments will come, governments will go there, governments will change. But until and unless the society gets de-radicalized, these kind of incidents cannot be stopped.
No, or is it a fault of Bharat that they looked away when Sheikh Hasina rule happened? That even at that time this was going on and this was being seeded there, but we didn't do anything because Sheikh Hasina was supposed to be favorable to Bharat and there was a strategic import there. But right now at what cost? Because there are nearly 1.3 million Hindus, and this is not limited to 1 or 2 districts. It's not just Khulna. This is Rangpur, this is Narel, this is Dhaka. There are so many other districts that have come through. And official data acceptance by Pratibha Olo says more than 1065 instances, nearly 50 districts out of the 64 in Bangladesh. Now this cannot be just purely political, and it continues. It's only increasing. Imagine you are not allowed to celebrate Pujo on a year-on-year basis. An 800-year-old temple is being vandalized like this.
I think there are 3 aspects of this. One is that, of course, it's a failure of the Bangladesh government. Second, It's also failure of the United Nations and the other Western world, which cry hoarse over the human rights violation across the world when something happens. You know, there are all eyes at Gaza and all eyes at Rafah, but there are no eyes at Bangladesh Hindus. Third is, I think that so far the government of India has given a very measured response, but I personally feel the response could have been more muscular or more robust, because after all, Bangladesh does. Let's talk about real politics. Bangladesh is dependent on a lot of things about a lot of things on India, and if India wanted to really squeeze them, so India could have done that. I think probably they might be doing that also, because I have come to know that there is a huge power crisis there, and sometimes certain things are being done in the diplomatic arena without making too much noise about it, and which has been the typical trait of this government. But I think overall, the Hindus, I'm also deeply concerned about the fact, the Hindus in India and elsewhere in the world, so they have not come out on the streets to talk about it. They have not been able to create, a movement about it. I think the global opinion.
Hindus in Bharat did not come out onto the streets on the Tirupati laddus. Bangladesh is too far away, and it's a statement of fact that what we witnessed in Mumbai with Imtiaz Jalil and the AIMIM, not even 1/10 of that was witnessed on the streets with what happened with the Tirupati laddus. So that's a reality in our country, and that is something which people have to see. That who's going to come out and talk, at least make a noise and make this known to the world that this is not okay, this is not kosher. So that is something which is everybody needs to reflect on, society needs to reflect on, all of Hindustan needs to reflect on. Arunji, please stay on with us. We'll get a move on. We've shown you these pictures and what's happening in Bangladesh, ladies and gentlemen. The government is saying they're going to do something strongly about it. Let's hope they do, because it's the fate of 1.3 million Hindus in Bangladesh that hangs in the balance, given what we are witnessing right now. Now, let's try and move forward. After the Uttar Pradesh government on Tuesday, the Congress-led Himachal Pradesh government has ordered that all restaurants, eateries in the state have to display the names and addresses of the operators, proprietors and managers at the establishments, and also proper verification of the people manning these stations and these eateries. Will this extend to the Rediwalas? In Himachal, they had said that they would want to do that with the Rediwalas also. Now, taking to a social media platform, Congress leader and Minister Vikramaditya Singh has said people express their concerns and doubts. And considering this, we have decided to implement a similar policy that in Uttar Pradesh, in which it has been made mandatory that vendors have to display their names and IDs. Remember, Congress leaders from Priyanka Vadra to Abhishek Manu Singhvi in the month of July had criticized the Kawad Yatra nameplate order, calling it unconstitutional. And now the Congress government in Himachal Pradesh is aping the Yogi model. The Honorable VP Jagdeep Dhankarji, meanwhile, while speaking at an event in Greater Noida on Wednesday, praised Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath's leadership and his game-changing model of governance. He said that CM Yogi defines law and order and that corruption is a thing of the past in Uttar Pradesh.
जितने भी स्ट्रीट वेंडर्स हैं, पर्टिकुलरली जो खान पीन का सामान बेच रहे हैं, तो उसके ऊपर जो है हमको दोनों तरीके से हाइजीनिक रूप से भी उसके ऊपर जो है एक्शन होना चाहिए, और जिस तरीके से उत्तर प्रदेश में भी वहाँ पर भी जो रेडी फड़ी वाले हैं खास करके उनके लिए ये मैंडेटरी किया गया है कि वहाँ पर जो है आपको अपना उसमें नाम और आईडी लगाना होगा. तो हमने भी इसको यहाँ पर पूरी मजबूती से लागू करने का निर्णय किया है.
Let's go across to our guests. Gopal Agarwal, national spokesperson of the BJP with us. Dr. Shujat Ali, leader of the Congress party, and Arun Anand, columnist with us. Namaste and Jai Hind, everyone. Thank you very, very much. Shujat Ali ji, your reaction on this order, this nameplate. You support or oppose this? Do you believe this is a timely intervention or is it just pure politics?
It is not so serious, but I welcome it because there should be display who is running the hotel. वैसे भी जिन होटलों को में जो लाइसेंस दिए जाते हैं उसमें नाम लिखा होता है कि होटल किसका है. लेबर डिपार्टमेंट का भी एक लाइसेंस होता है, इस्टेब्लिशमेंट का भी एक लाइसेंस होता है. तो हम इसको वेलकम करेंगे, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है. अगर जो है साफ़ सुथरापन रखने के लिए किया जा रहा है तो बहुत अच्छा है और हम इसको अच्छा कदम करार देंगे, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है.
पर इसकी तो पहले खिलाफत की गई थी पहले ये कहा गया था कि ये गलत है।
हाँ, और उत्तर
कावड़ यात्रा के टाइम में उस वक्त क्यों कहा गया कि गलत है?
जहां तक सवाल, हाँ बिल्कुल, जब जब गलत था वो, क्योंकि एक सेंसिटिव स्टेट में नाम लिख करके जो है एक नफरत पैदा करने का वातावरण पैदा किया गया था, और इसी वजह से सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उसको स्टे किया। तो उसका भी हम वेलकम करते हैं। जो जहाँ पे जो काम अच्छा होता है वहाँ पे हम
तो यूपी में किया जाए तो नफरत पैदा करने के लिए, हिमाचल में किया जाए तो सही है, ये लॉजिक समझा नहीं, थोड़ा समझाइए।
100 नहीं, लॉजिक बिल्कुल क्लियर है। जब यात्रा निकलती है, हजारों की भीड़ होती है,
हाँ।
कोई इमोशनल बात कह देता है या कोई गलती कर देता है तो झगड़ा हो सकता था।
हाँ।
तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को भी आप कंडम कर रहे हैं, इसका मतलब आप ये कह रहे हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो किया गलत किया। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अगर एक्शन लिया है तो वो उस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में गलत था और उसको हम गलत बोलेंगे। और ये जो हो रहा है कि जो शॉप्स के ऊपर जो ओनर का नाम है बिल्कुल लिखना चाहिए।
तो उस वक्त कावड़ यात्रा के दौरान क्या ऑर्डर था?
बाकायदा नाम के ऊपर।
नहीं, गोपाल अग्रवाल जी, कावड़ यात्रा के टाइम व्हाट वाज द ऑर्डर ड्यूरिंग द कावड़ यात्रा? वाजंट इट द सेम ऑर्डर?
मेरे ख्याल से तो आनंद जी,
जब क्या था,
कांग्रेस का जो डिवाइड एंड रूल और वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स है, उसी के कारण ये कंफ्यूज्ड कांग्रेस के प्रवक्ता और बोल रहे हैं। अल्टीमेटली तो ऑर्डर तो सेम ही था।
नहीं है, हम वेरी क्लियर है।
अच्छा शुजात जी, लेट हिम स्पीक, अब फिर आप
कर रहे हैं हिमाचल प्रदेश की।
अल्टीमेटली प्रॉब्लम क्या है? जिस तरह की रूमर चल रही है आनंद जी, जिस तरह के सोशल मीडिया में वीडियोस चल रहे हैं, जिस तरह से एक पर्टिकुलरली तरीके से कि किस तरह कोई खाने के रोटियों में और जिस तरह की बातें चल रही है, इस सबको विराम देने के लिए आवश्यक है आप एक ट्रांसपेरेंसी लाएं, एक हाइजीनिक प्रोसीजर लाएं। और इसमें केवल यही नहीं है, आइडेंटिटी की बात नहीं है। आप इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर से वेंडर्स को फॉर्मल सेक्टर में जितना जल्दी लाना करेंगे तो उनका ही फायदा है। तो मुझे लगता है कि यह जो कांग्रेस अपनी वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स अपीजमेंट के चक्कर में अच्छे इनिशिएटिव्स को भी धर्म के साथ जोड़ के और इस तरह की बातें करते, नहीं तो अगर वेंडर के नाम देने हैं, उनके आइडेंटिटी लिखनी है, तो एक वर्ग, धर्म विशेष के वर्ग को क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ये तो चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका वाली बात हो गई। नहीं तो
अगर आप सबको स्क्रीन दिख रहे हैं, टू ऑल ऑफ व्यूअर्स, I don't know, I'm not aware, Arun Anand ji, Shujat ji and also Gopal Agarwal ji, that whether the Honorable Supreme Court and the Justices of the Supreme Court were witness or were shown these visuals. There was a reason why this decision has been taken, and especially in Uttar Pradesh, because some very startling visuals have come through. Let's try and have a look at some of these, if we can. First up, this is in Shamli. Now look at what this person is doing in Shamli, ladies and gentlemen. While he is making the juice, he is spitting into the juice before he is serving it. This vendor, while making the juice, there you go, he is spitting into the juice as he is crushing the musambi. So this is from Shamli in Uttar Pradesh. Now would you like to drink this juice? Should this person be verified? Should this person, what should be done with this person as he is serving this to people there in the streets? Are citizens, should they be allowed to consume this, or should there be a verification of who this person is? Does he have the license to have that ready? And if he is caught doing this, what kind of punishment should be administered to him? Now, the next footage. This is in Noida. Roti is being made. There you go. He is spitting on the roti. This could be a dhaba. This is a dhaba where people from all walks of life come to eat, and this person is the khansama or the cook. He is making the roti, and look what he is doing on the roti. Should this person's name, verification, identification, who is he, where is he from, and that restaurant owner who is standing there next to him, who is watching all this, and that person is also joining in, should they also not be questioned? Should they be allowed to do what they are doing? Is this not the brazen trampling of the rights of every consumer and the faith of every consumer? Irrespective of what religion they belong and what their food habits are, should this be allowed in a public eatery in Bharat? Next one. This is from Ghaziabad, ladies and gentlemen. This man is being beaten up because he was mixing urine. Urine in a bottle, he had urine in a bottle and he was mixing it in a juice shop. He was feeding people juice while mixing his own urine in it. There you go. That's why he was being picked up. That's what was happening in the juice shop. That was the person, and he's been handed over to the cops, and they've got video of this happening in Ghaziabad. And there's one more. These are pictures from Lucknow. Lucknow again. This whole instance of spitting on the head while a massage is happening in the salon. There is a hair massage or a head massage, and the person is spitting on the hand and then using the same hand to give that person a massage. Will you go for a massage here, Shujat Ali? Are you okay with this? Will you have the roti at that restaurant, sir? And will you drink that juice, sir? Or do you want to know who these people are?
See, thank you very much. Let me give the reply. See, have you verified all these, visuals
Yes.
before showing on
Yes.
the national TV?
Yes.
So what action has been taken against them?
These people,
Even without name also, if you are having the evidence in camera, without name, without his background, without his dharma, you can take action.
Yeah.
And that shop will be closed within
should
no
such
time,
people,
nobody will go.
So should such shops and establishment and these people, their identification and verification not be done before they are hired? Who these people are? Should we not know who these people are?
There is the need to have identification.
Why not?
Every shopkeeper will have the license. Every
So who are the people?
A number.
Who are the
you
people?
take action. Who is stopping you?
Who are the people
who is
working
stopping?
under
no,
his?
No, who is stopping you?
So nobody is stopping. So
See,
that is the
you
order.
are-
The order is you have to
working-
declare and
No,
you
no,
have
you-
to do the
see-
verification of the staff that you are employing, so that we know who these people are.
And
A murderer-
it's important
no,
that you make
a
the
murderer
laws
will-
and
no, no.
things, na? You cannot just without making laws, you just
No. Let me
No, no,
complete
there is
the reply. Let me complete my answer.
Oh, okay.
Let me complete my answer. A murderer will tell you his name. What is his name, from where he comes, before killing the person. So when you are having,
But if the biometrics
evidence,
is done and the
take action.
verification is done via fingerprinting,
them,
can I or can I
punish
not
them.
identify
No.
who this person
Punish
is?
them.
And can we not, if it is geolocated and if the biometric system is put
Arey,
across the country, can we not identify and catch the
when
murderer?
authorities,
Is that not done?
When the authorities will go there, they will get everything.
Why will the-
उसका wife का नाम, उसका शौहर का नाम, उसका बेटे का नाम, सबका नाम मिलता है. आप punishment दीजिए ना, सजा दीजिए आप.
पनिशमेंट तो दिया जाएगा,
आप-
लेकिन पहले
आप
बताएं
क्या
तो
कर रहे
सही.
हैं?
जो
नेशनल-
कोई भी
नहीं,
रैंडमली
नहीं.
आके किधर
देखिए,
काम करेगा,
नेशनल-
अगले दिन गायब हो जाएगा. जैसे जब कावड़ यात्रा में ऑर्डर निकले थे, तो
अभी-
रातों रात
अभी-
सारे लोग गायब हो गए थे.
अभी-
गायब क्यों हो गए थे?
शुजात जी,
कई सारे रेस्टोरेंट्स
एक
में
बात
नाम
आपने
गलत
कही।
दिए थे. नाम उन्होंने
नहीं,
बदल के
आनंद जी,
लगाए थे
नाम
नेम
और
बोर्ड पे.
आइडेंटिटी
असली
का
नाम कुछ
प्रॉब्लम
और है
तो-
और दुकान का
तो
नाम जानबूझ के
action-
कुछ और बदल दिया. फिर
हाँ,
दूसरी
action
बात,
है।
जैसे ही ऑर्डर निकला अगले दिन सारे लेबर गायब हो गए. गायब क्यों हो गए? गोपाल अग्रवाल.
हाँ, नाम से
देखिए,
प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
अगर-
तो शुजात
अरे
जी-
देखिए,
अच्छा, शुजात जी,
अगर
let
crime
गोपाल
है
जी
तो
say
action
something.
लीजिए ना.
Let गोपाल जी
द
speak.
इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज, आनंद जी, शुजात जी से यही प्रश्न है कि नाम लिखने, आइडेंटिफाई करने से प्रॉब्लम क्या है? ठीक है, आपका मतलब उससे आप भी कह रहे हो कि सजा मिलनी चाहिए, उसके ऊपर एक्शन लेना चाहिए. तो आइडेंटिफिकेशन इज अ प्रोसेस जिसके कारण सजा मिलेगी. कानून आएगा तो स्ट्रॉन्ग डेटरेंट होगा. कानून के अंतर्गत उनके जो अच्छे काम कर रहे हैं उनको पॉजिटिव सपोर्ट गवर्नमेंट का मिलेगा, जो गलत काम कर रहे हैं उनको सजा मिलेगी. अब मुझे ये समझ नहीं आता कि आप इसको धर्म से जोड़ के कौन कर रहा है ये धार्मिक बात. आप इसको क्यों, आपको प्रॉब्लम क्या है शुजात जी,
धर्म
अगर
से-
उसकी आइडेंटिटी उसकी डिस्प्ले होने से,
सुनिए,
लेबर की
सुनिए,
नहीं
मेरी बात
see,
सुनिए.
मुझे कोई धर्म से
धर्म
कोई
से-
लेना देना नहीं है. अगर
सुनिए,
कोई अपना
सुनिए.
पसीना निकाल के भी
मैं
डाल
नहीं,
रहा
मैं कह
है
रहा हूं
उस पे
आपसे.
तो गलत है. दैट पर्सन शुड बी बिहाइंड बार्स एंड दैट शॉप शुड बी शट डाउन. इट शुड बी सील्ड. बट फॉर दैट
Yes.
टू बी सील्ड, द राइट ओनर, द
क्या
पर्सन हु
लोगों
इज देयर
को
शुड बी
एक-
डू इट. इट
एक-
डजंट
एक-
मैटर हु दे, व्हाट देयर फेथ इज. एंड द अदर थिंग इज, we also
मेरा-
need to know
मेरा-
if these people are
मेरा एक
actually
सवाल.
legally Bharatiya people, they belong to a particular state, district of Bharat, or these are people who have come here from somewhere else and who are getting into the shopland establishment and working as people, and they are doing something which is against Bharatiya Pratha and Bharatiya culture. This is another concern which has been raised by many people on ground, not just in UP but also in Himachal. Arun Anand ji,
मुझे जवाब देने देंगे?
one second, Shujat ji. Arun Anand has not yet spoken. Let me get his point and then I'll come to you, Shujat ji. Yeah. Arun
I
Anand.
fully agree with you, Anand. I think a large number of Rohingya, let me say it bluntly, that a large number of Rohingya Muslims and illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, so they have come and they have been, involved in a lot of nefarious activities. I'm not saying that everybody who has come from there is involved in the nefarious activity, but the very fact that they are illegal residents of this country, and and they have been carrying out, such activities. One. Second is because if you look at the data, crime data also, you'll find a large number of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants and also Rohingya Muslims involved in these kind of things. One is that. Second is, my problem is that why do we need to politicize this issue? This is a pure administrative issue, and I think what my issue is that when the UP government, as you said, when the UP government does it during the Kamad Yatra, everybody has a problem. When Himachal government does it, so then it is fine. Qualitatively, there is no difference, and I don't know by displaying the names during the Kamad Yatra how it is going to be communally sensitive. Just because, and why only the Muslim community takes it on themselves that as if they are being outed. But the names will be displayed. It will be Sikhs also, it will be Jains also, it will be Buddhists also, it will be Christians also. We don't see an adverse response coming from any of the leaders from of any of these communities. But we suddenly see knee-jerk reactions whenever these things happen only from the Muslim community. So my concern is that.
Ji, please complete. Your concern is?
Yeah, my concern is this, that why only any time we take an action or just to make things transparent, whether it is CA, whether it is NRC, whether it is these kind of steps. So why only the Muslim community feels that they are being hounded? Why there is no adverse response from any of the other minority communities? So why play a victim card always?
No, and not just that. The other thing is BJP government does it or Yogi does it. It's communal. And Sukhu-led government does it, or Vikramaditya Singh talks about it because it's Congress party, it's secular and it is very good in the interest of people. What kind of argument is this? And our honorable courts, are they watching this? We would like to ask very, very humbly to the justices of the courts, would they like to go ahead and get a hair massage done, head massage done at a place like this? Would they like to eat a roti where this is going on? Would they like to drink that juice? Would they like to do it? Perhaps they have not seen these pictures and this reality on ground. And if they see these pictures, would they then change their mind? Would they have a different opinion? Shujat Ali.
जी, मैं आपसे ये कह रहा था, नाम के बारे में आप बार बार कह रहे हैं, हमको नाम से कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, हिंदू हो या मुस्लिम हो, पनिशमेंट दीजिए। आपको क्या नरेंद्र मोदी का नाम नहीं मालूम, जो कम्युनल एजेंडा चलाते हैं, देश में नफरत पैदा करते हैं? आपको नहीं मालूम? आप कोर्ट से रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि उसका संज्ञान ले, तो आप नरेंद्र मोदी के बारे में कभी कोई आइटम दिया? आपने कोई डिस्कशन किया उनके कम्युनल तकरीरों पर? आपने
गोपाल जी
डर के बैठते हैं घर में।
नहीं, शुजात जी,
ये क्या बात है?
एक मिनट,
ये मुसलमान, हिंदू, ये मंदिर, ये मस्जिद, कितने बातें की?
नहीं, बहुत
मंगलसूत्र चुराने की बात
बढ़िया
कही।
कोशिश आप कर रहे हैं।
कितना कम्युनल एजेंडा उन्होंने चलाया?
गोल पोस्ट घुमाने की बहुत बढ़िया कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, गोल पोस्ट नहीं घुमा रहा हूं।
आज कांग्रेस के हिमाचल सरकार ने भी यही ऑर्डर पास किया है। कांग्रेस के हिमाचल सरकार ने भी यही ऑर्डर पास किया है।
देखिए,
तो वो ऑर्डर सही है और योगी ऑर्डर पास करे तो गलत है। तो किसकी निगाहों में और किसकी सोच में खोट है, ये आप बताएं। और हमने किसी धर्म विशेष की बात ही नहीं की। अगर कोई व्यक्ति ऐसा करता है तो सही है कि गलत है? आप मैंने ये प्रश्न पूछा, आप धर्म विशेष तक पहुंच गए, क्यों पहुंचे? तो किसकी सोच में खोट है, किसकी सोच में गड़बड़ है, वो दिख रहा है। गोपाल अग्रवाल, फाइनल वर्ड। नहीं, मेरे पर आक्षेप करने से कुछ नहीं होगा और विषय को घुमाने की कोशिश मत कीजिए। सर, आप जितना गुगली पकड़ेंगे मैं आगे बढ़कर सिक्स मारूंगा, मत कीजिए, कोशिश मत कीजिए। एक मिनट, नहीं, अरे नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नाम लेने से आपका आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं बैठ जाता। नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नाम लेने से आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं बैठ जाता, आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं हो जाता। जो ये कर रहे हैं, आप वहां जाके हेड मसाज कराएंगे शुजात जी। आप इस व्यक्ति से हेड मसाज कराएंगे?
नहीं, हरगिज नहीं कराएंगे।
नहीं कराएंगे ना। आप उस व्यक्ति का जो यूरिन मिला हुआ जूस पिएंगे? आप उस व्यक्ति की थूक लगाई हुई रोटी खाएंगे?
भाई देखिए,
आप खाएंगे तो नहीं खाएंगे ना। तो जो भी है, अगर वो ऑर्डर दे रहा है कि भाई जिसकी भी दुकान है उसका नाम लिखो, जो भी वहां काम कर रहा है उसकी पहचान बताओ, तो गलत क्या है? हिमाचल में भी यही कहा। हिमाचल में तो उन्होंने कहा योगी जी कर रहे हैं, हम भी करेंगे। आप कह रहे हैं योगी जी गलत है लेकिन कांग्रेस सही है। लॉजिक क्या हुआ? गोपाल अग्रवाल फाइनल वर्ड।
अल्टीमेटली यही बात है कि ये हर चीज को कम्युनल एंगल दे के, ये धर्म का एंगल दे के डिविजिव पॉलिटिक्स करने का काम करते हैं। नहीं तो आपने बिल्कुल स्पष्ट पूछा है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में जो गलत इनके हिसाब से है, वो हिमाचल में
कम्युनल एजेंडे के माहिर लोग हैं। आपका टीवी भी उसका माहिर है।
गुजरात जी और उनकी टीम करती है हर चीज को धर्म के नाम पे डिविजिव पॉलिटिक्स यूज करके फियर कॉम्प्लेक्स माइनॉरिटी में क्रिएट।
आप वोट मांग रहे हैं धर्म के नाम पे, धर्म के नाम पे वोट मांग रहे हैं। मुसलमानों को मारने की बात आप करते हैं।
नहीं, कौन किसको मारने की बात कर रहा है? कहां कुछ भी एजेंडा भिड़ा रहा है। अगर आपके पास आर्ग्यूमेंट नहीं है करने के लिए तो मत कीजिए, लेकिन बेफिजूल के तुक मत भिड़ाइए और बेफिजूल के आर्ग्यूमेंट मत कीजिए। शुजात जी, आपसे ये उम्मीद नहीं है। अगर आप मानते हैं जो किया गया वो गलत है, जो ये तस्वीरें दिख रही है गलत है, और अगर आपको लगता है जो हिमाचल प्रदेश में किया, जो ऑर्डर किया है वो सही है, तो फिर योगी ने जो किया वो सही है। तो एक सही एक गलत नहीं हो सकता जब फैसला सेम है।
सुनिए, एक मिनट सुनिए।
अगर आपका चश्मा भेद कर रहा है, आपका चश्मा चीजों को कम्युनल एजेंडे से देख रहा है, आपका चश्मा ये कर रहा है। बिल्कुल आप यही कर रहे हैं। एक मिनट, अरुण आनंद,
और मुझे ये कहने पर मजबूर होना पड़ रहा है।
कोई मजबूरी नहीं है, कोई मजबूरी नहीं है। जो ग्राउंड पे परिस्थिति है, अगर आप ऐसे व्यक्ति से मसाज नहीं करवाएंगे, आप ऐसे व्यक्ति का खाना नहीं खाएंगे, आप ऐसे व्यक्ति का जूस नहीं पिएंगे, तो उसकी नाम पहचान, उसकी दुकान का, उसमें क्या गलत है? इसमें कौन सा एजेंडा आ गया? अरुण आनंद फाइनल वर्ड जी।
My argument is that they should, Congress should appreciate the UP government, and even Vikramaditya Singh has referred to that the UP government has done it. So I think Congress should actually take a cue from Vikramaditya. Congress leaders should take a cue from Vikramaditya Singh. They should appreciate the Yogi government, and this issue should be brought out of the political thing, and it should be implemented across the country.
Not appreciated.
No, I have appreciated. So you appreciate the Yogi government also, right?
I have appreciated, and we condemn the administration who is not able to take action.
No, I am saying, do you appreciate that the Yogi government had also come out with this thing? Dr. Ali? I just wanted to...
देखिए, मैं वही तो कह रहा हूँ, आप सुनने तो आप सुनिए ना। सुनने की बात तो सुनने की तो ताकत भी तो रखिए।
आप यूपी गवर्नमेंट के लिए
नरेंद्र मोदी को ले आते हैं,
कंडेम करेंगे, करिए आप कंडेम उनको भी। इफ यू से कि यूपी
आप सभी लोग मिलके बात करेंगे तो मैं जवाब कैसे दूंगा?
एक एक करके। अरुण आनंद, आप शुजात अली जी से कुछ पूछ रहे थे। अरुण आनंद, आप अपने प्रश्न कीजिए। आफ्टर दैट गोपाल अग्रवाल जी, आई विल टेक योर थॉट्स प्लीज। थैंक यू फॉर योर पेशेंस। यस अरुण आनंद, यू आर आस्किंग हिम समथिंग।
My humble submission is that we should not have a double speak. If you are appreciating what has happened in Himachal Pradesh, then you should accept that your party was absolutely wrong in opposing this move when it was done by Yogi government, even during the Kavad Yatra. And I think this is an issue which is related to public health. We should take it out of the political realm, and we should not communalize it, and we should not see it as a minority better. And please, we should basically come out of this duplicity. So my only question to you, sir, is that do you appreciate what Yogi government has done? Of course you have appreciated Himachal government has done.
नहीं, we will not appreciate Yogi government because he is running the government on 80-20 formula. That's why we oppose such people. That is our concern. We are not against taking action against the culprits. Take action, give them punishment, and see that they are not able to do business at such places.
No, what is 80-20?
We are not supporting. We will not support.
What is 80-20?
We will. that always he is talking ना योगी 80% हिंदू हैं 20% मुसलमान.
He never said that.
अरे 80%
What has he said?
20%.
No.
अरे what nonsense you are talking.
No.
It is a well known fact.
No. I am talking.
Well known fact.
No. I am talking.
नहीं ये मत देखिए ये
Please show me.
आप चैनल चला रहे हैं. चैनल चलाने वाला शख्स अगर ये कहता है कि उन्होंने ऐसा नहीं कहा.
योगी आदित्यनाथ. 1 minute sir. 1 minute.
I don't accept your argument.
1 minute Sujata.
I don't accept your argument.
1 minute sir. योगी आदित्यनाथ had said कि ये 80-20 की लड़ाई है. 80% वो लोग हैं
80-20 का मतलब क्या है?
जो शांति प्रिय हैं, विकास का एजेंडा लेके चल रहे हैं, और 20% वो लोग हैं जो उपद्रवी हैं. This is what he has said. Show me. No. 1 minute.
अगर गवर्नमेंट के पास दम है, अगर गवर्नमेंट के पास दम है,
show me a place. Show me one statement, sir. I will retract my statement. Show me one statement of Yogi Adityanath where he said 80% Hindus versus 20% Muslims. Show me one. So you are interpreting it. No, you are interpreting it by 80 to 20. Now, Gopal Agarwal, please respond. No, sir. Fact is fact, sir. I am asking you. You can interpret and say whatever you want, but I can't state fact. I am saying show me one soundbite of Yogi Adityanath where he says 80% Hindus and 20% Muslims. Show me one soundbite of Yogi Adityanath. He has never said it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you are the one who's twisting it. But anyways, छोड़ो क्या, झूठ गलत बात बोलकर गलत को सही आप बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. मैं कह रहा हूं एक बार बताइए, मैं यहाँ से मैं ऑन नेशनल चैनल पे आपसे माफी मांगूंगा, पर नहीं तो आपको माफी मांगनी पड़ेगी कि आप एक स्टेट के चीफ मिनिस्टर को जानबूझकर अपने कलर्ड आंखों से देखकर उसको कम्युनल एजेंडा बता रहे हैं. उन्होंने हमेशा कहा है 80% उत्तर प्रदेश के लोग शांति प्रिय हैं, विकास के पक्ष में हैं और गुंडागर्दी के खिलाफ हैं. 20% ऐसे उपद्रवी तत्व हैं जिनके खिलाफ हमारी लड़ाई है. यही उन्होंने कहा है. आपने उसे कैसे इंटरप्रेट किया वो आपके ऊपर है. गोपाल अग्रवाल.
शुजात जी को अभी यहीं देखिए कि फ्लिप फ्लॉप कर रहे हैं. अभी पहले कह रहे थे कि यूपी गवर्नमेंट गलत कर रही है, हिमाचल ठीक कर रहा है. फिर अभी बीच में उन्होंने कहना शुरू कर दिया नहीं यूपी गवर्नमेंट के डिसीजन को भी मैं सपोर्ट करता हूँ व्हेन ही गॉट कॉट रेड हैंडेड. अब मैं उनसे एक ही प्रश्न करना चाहता हूँ कि अगर पहले क्लैरिटी, अगर वो कहते हैं कि यूपी गवर्नमेंट का डिसीजन और हिमाचल गवर्नमेंट का डिसीजन सेम है और अच्छे देश में ट्रांसपेरेंसी लाएगा, हाइजीन फूड इंडस्ट्री में लाएगा, वेंडर्स को फॉर्मलाइज करेगा, तो उसको अप्रिशिएट करते हिमाचल को, यूपी को भी. तो जिन लोगों ने यूपी गवर्नमेंट के डिसीजंस को क्रिटिसाइज किया था, उनकी पार्टी और सपोर्टर और विचारधारा के लोगों ने, तो उनको कंडेम करेंगे यहाँ कि उन्होंने कम्युनल एजेंडा, कम्युनल नज़र से एक सही डिसीजन को भी एक राजनीतिक लाभ के लिए कंडेम किया था. ये तो साफ करना, यू कैन नॉट टेक द बोथ साइड्स एट द सेम टाइम. तो ये फ्लिप फ्लॉप है, कौन राजनीति कर रहा है. तो मैं शुजात जी से इतना प्रश्न है कि इफ ही अप्रिशिएट्स हिमाचल, ही शुड अप्रिशिएट उत्तर प्रदेश, एंड इफ दैट इज देयर ही शुड कंडेम दोस पीपल फ्रॉम हिज पार्टी
पॉलिटिकल कमेंट को डिफेंड करते हो.
एंगल gave a communal twist to योगी गवर्नमेंट्स rightful decision.
कोई किसी को डिफेंड नहीं कर रहा है. जो सच है वो सच है. सुजात जी, रिस्पॉन्ड टू गोपाल अग्रवाल.
हमें क्या नुकसान है? आप डिफेंड कर रहे हैं. देखिए आप डिफेंड कर रहे हैं, डिफेंड मत करिए. प्रोग्राम ऐसा नहीं होता.
नहीं, अब आप बताएंगे कि प्रोग्राम भी कैसे होना चाहिए, आप ये बताएंगे कि खाना भी क्या खाना चाहिए, आप ये बताएंगे कि हमें जाना भी कहां चाहिए, आप ये बताएंगे कि नेम बोर्ड कैसे लगेगा, आप ये बताएंगे कि बीजेपी की सरकार को क्या फैसले लेने चाहिए, आप ये भी बताएंगे कि कांग्रेस की सरकार लेगी तो सही है, बीजेपी की सरकार लेगी तो गलत है. ये सब आप बताएंगे और हमें सुनना चाहिए. नहीं, आप यही कर रहे हैं अभी.
तो बीजेपी
मैं फैक्ट पे बात कर रहा हूं सर. आपके पास समय है, आप समय है, कल भी आ जाइए. आप एक बार बताइए जहां योगी आदित्यनाथ ने 80% हिंदू और 20% मुसलमान की बात की है. 80-20 की लड़ाई उन्होंने कही है, लेकिन 80 उन्होंने यही कहा है जो शांति प्रिय है, विकास की बात कर रहे हैं, जो आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, और जो उपद्रवी है, माफिया है. ये बात उन्होंने बार बार कही है. आप उसी को लेकर अड़े हुए हैं. मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि योगी करे तो गलत और सुक्खू करे तो सही. ये लॉजिक तो आपका चश्मा बिगटेड है ना. आपने डिसाइड किया है कि अगर कोई हिंदू वहां पर, अगर कोई हिंदू है और जो बीजेपी का है, तो मुझे उसको अपोज ही करना, चाहे वो सही फैसले ले समाज के लिए या ना ले. मेरे लिए भी अच्छे फैसले ले, फिर भी मैं उसे अपोज ही करूंगा। तो लॉजिक किसका बिगड़ा हुआ है? मानसिकता किसकी गलत है? आप डिसाइड कीजिए।
के कम्युनल एजेंडे के बावजूद
नहीं, आपका नैरेटिव है। आप कह रहे हैं अरे एजेंडा सबसे ज्यादा प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना में लाभ जिसको मिला है, जिस 14 से 18% मुसलमान है, लेकिन 30% बेनिफिशियरीज प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना में है। और आप बीजेपी का एजेंडा कम्युनल बता रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री को कम्युनल बता रहे हैं। क्या कह रहे हैं आप? इस देश के अंदर मुसलमानों के राइट्स प्रोटेक्टेड है, हिंदूज के नहीं है। आपको और आप ये कह रहे हैं कि ये कम्युनल एजेंडा है। देखिए, ये आपका नैरेटिव है सर, ये आपका नैरेटिव है, ये आपका नैरेटिव है। एनीवे, वी हैव गॉट टू वाइंड अप, वी हैव रन आउट ऑफ टाइम। शुजात अली, अरुण आनंद, and also Gopal Agarwal, thank you very much. Now that's the order, ladies and gentlemen. That's the reality on ground, and that's why there have been multiple videos like this and instances. That's the reason why this decision has been taken. It's in the general interest of public and also of Bharat, because we need to know if these people are actually Bharatiya citizens or are they illegals who have entered into our country and are doing this on the streets of Bharat. Stay with us. When we come back, is all not well between Bharat and China? Why did Dr. Jaishankar say what he did? Stay with us.
अपने अपने मसले हैं, मुश्किलात होती हैं। आपको क्या लगता है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें तो हुई हैं, जो अभी तक नहीं हुआ है वो क्या क्या है?
रैना साहब ने यहाँ के तो 4 चांद लगा दिए, रास्ते बना दिए, सड़कें बना दी, स्कूल सीधे कर दिए। आप ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये यहाँ के जीत की जाएंगे और जो काम रहते हैं उनको ये पूरा कर पाएंगी।
ठीक है, कुछ लोगों से जो युवा हैं उनसे भी बात करें। आप युवा हैं, पहली बार वोट डाल रहे हैं?
नहीं,
सेकंड बार है। क्या आप चाहते हैं, उम्मीदें क्या हैं नई सरकार से? जो आपके चुने हुए लेजिस्लेटर, उनसे क्या चाहते हैं?
अच्छा करें और क्या सकते। पहले
आपने पढ़ा है?
हाँ।
कितनी तक पढ़ाई की?
मैं 10th।
अच्छा, तो यहाँ पे आप क्या चाहते हैं? बेरोजगारी क्योंकि
दूसरे फेज की पोलिंग जो है सुबह से शुरू हुई है। फिलहाल जो रिपोर्ट्स हैं, अच्छी तादाद में वोटर जो है अपने वोट का इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। अब मुझसे बार बार पूछा जाता है कि हमारी क्या उम्मीदें हैं, हमारी क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं। मैम, कोई भी उम्मीदवार हारने के लिए इलेक्शन नहीं लड़ता। तो हमारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस यही हैं कि आज ज्यादा से ज्यादा वोट जो हैं नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के उम्मीदवारों को पड़ेंगे। जहां नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस के उम्मीदवार नहीं हैं, वहां कांग्रेस के साथ हमारे अलायंस के तहत कांग्रेस के उम्मीदवार को जो है वोट मिलने चाहिए। और उम्मीद ये की जा रही है कि 8 अक्टूबर के बाद अक्सरियत हमारी होगी और नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस कांग्रेस की यहाँ पे अलायंस गवर्नमेंट जो है काम करेगी। यही हमारी उम्मीद है। ये डेलीगेशन के हवाले से समझ में नहीं आता। यही लोग जब जम्मू कश्मीर के बारे में कमेंट करते हैं तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से बयान आता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर जो है वो हमारा अंदरूनी मामला है, इस पर दूसरों की दखल नहीं होनी चाहिए। अगर दखल नहीं होनी चाहिए, अगर इनके कमेंट्स आपको नहीं चाहिए, तो इनको यहाँ लाया क्यों जा रहा है? और वैसे भी यहाँ लोग वोट अपना इस्तेमाल या इलेक्शन में हिस्सा इसलिए नहीं ले रहे हैं कि वो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से बहुत खुश हैं। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तमाम कोशिशों के बावजूद लोग यहाँ इलेक्शन में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं। नहीं तो यहाँ लोगों को तंग करने में, सताने में, परेशान करने में पिछले 6-7 साल से हुकूमत ने कोई कसर बाकी नहीं रखी है। इसके बावजूद लोग अगर इस इलेक्शन में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं तो ये लोगों की, मैं कहता हूँ इसका श्रेय लोगों को जाना चाहिए। लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कोशिश कर रही है कि इसका सारा क्रेडिट गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को मिले, जो कि यहाँ के लोगों के साथ धोखा है। और अगर बाहर के डिप्लोमेट्स को लाया जा सकता है तो मुझे ये बताएं ना, बाहर के जर्नलिस्ट को इजाजत क्यों नहीं दी जा रही है? बाहर के किसी भी जर्नलिस्ट को जिन्होंने अप्लाई किया था इस इलेक्शन को कवर करने के लिए, उन्हें इजाजत नहीं मिली। लेकिन एक गाइडेड टूर टूरिस्ट की तरह इन डिप्लोमेट्स को लाके यहाँ इलेक्शन दिखाए जा रहे हैं, ये अच्छी बात नहीं है।
सर थोड़ा ट्रेंड साउथ कश्मीर में काफी ज्यादा सुबह से ही वोटिंग देखने को मिली, लेकिन इस जगह थोड़ा स्लो है। आपको क्यों लग रहा है कि ऐसा हो रहा है?
सब हमारे
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has taken on China, saying that the relationship between both the nations is significantly disturbed. Noting that the primary issue currently is patrolling along the line of actual control, he highlighted that the patrolling arrangement after 2020 has been disturbed, as he referred to the Galwan clash at the LAC 4 years ago. Listen in.
We have a difficult history with China. A history which included a conflict in 1962. Despite these very explicit agreements, we saw that the Chinese, we were all in the middle of COVID at that time, if you remember, moved large number of forces in violation of these agreements to the line of actual control. So there was a clash, and a number of troops died on either side. And that has since in a sense, overshadowed the relationship. So until we are able to restore peace and tranquility on the border and ensure that the agreements which we have signed up to are adhered.
The relationship between China and India has transcended bilateral scope and bears regional and global significance. We are willing to work with the Indian side to achieve bilateral relations on a healthy and stable track.
Arun Anand and Andrew K.P. Leung with us. So when the Chinese envoy says bilateral equations are better, we don't look at each other as adversaries but as partners and the dimensions are regional. Arun Anand, Dr. Jaishankar says our biggest issue is the LAC. Define the borders, patrolling and perception, and because this is a friction. So while China is trying to separate territorial integrity, sovereignty and those issues on ground from the geopolitical aspect of economics and regional cooperation, Bharat is saying no, both will go simultaneously. Relations are not okay till this is okay. So is all well or is all not well?
No, all is not well, and I think all cannot be actually well with China. Until and unless you have, unless this Communist Party CPC remains there and Xi Jinping's leadership is there, so they have a distinct agenda. And in diplomacy, generally, you don't tend to say things publicly, but there are a lot of other things which are happening behind the scenes, beyond the LAC. The Indian interests are being targeted by China. We have seen change in governments in Nepal. We have seen a change in government in Bangladesh. We have recently seen a change in government in Sri Lanka. And with CPAC and other things, China has made a very Pakistan a close ally, and through ISI, we have seen there are a lot of arms which are Chinese arms which have been captured in Kashmir. Then in Manipur also through Myanmar border, they are making things difficult for India. We have seen what happened in Maldives. So China is all out targeting India across the world. So this is an all out war. A part of that is being carried out on the LAC, but there is much more beyond that. So I think it's a complex thing. It's not going to mend so easily.
But you believe that the posture is adversarial and it's not friendly. So contrary to what the Chinese envoy actually said, Andrew K.P. Leung, where do you stand?
Well, I think that the whole world, the geopolitics are changing. And then the world is tilting more towards multipolarity. And then both China and India are finding new space so that the two countries can talk to each other more constructively. Let's not forget that the line of actual control has remained unclear and has been a source of conflict for these two countries, which does not serve the best interests of either country. So I think that focusing on these intractable problems, which are lasting for years, is not very fruitful. And I think that both leaders, both in India and China, they clearly want to de-escalate. De-escalate is not a strategy, but de-escalate is a means to an end. The end is that both countries could find space to work together more constructively. Let's not forget that the biggest adversary for China is not India. I mean, there is no comparison. I mean, India, if you talk about the BRICS, the China is bigger than the rest of the BRICS combined. But China's biggest threat is the United States. But of course, India is on more friendly terms with the United States, but neither is a firm ally. And India is also negotiating with a multipolar world. Look at India's approach to Russia, for example. So I think that both China and India can find common space, and rather than bogged down by these border disputes has been remaining intractable. The most important thing is to dial down the rhetoric and dial down the kind of confrontational tactics, which does not serve the best interests of either country.
But who's got to dial this down? The person who's dialing it up is the People's Republic of China under the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and the PLA, the Arunanand. Isn't that the argument? Where is Bharat going to try and get aggressive with China? We are not getting into Chinese sovereign territory. We are only trying to hold back and reclaim what is our perception of sovereign territory, which via salami slicing the PLA has eaten into and encroached upon and is sitting on. Now, territorial issue can it be separated from economical issue altogether? Or is economically also, look at Andrew K. Long, he says China is far ahead of Bharat and Bharat cannot even match us. So what are you? So that's the ant and the elephant comparison.
No, I wouldn't say, in today's world, it's you might be a smaller country, like you look at Israel, but if you have the right kind of technology, so, you can challenge much bigger economies, much bigger countries who are much bigger in terms of territory also. So I would say, there is a very interesting actually situation which has emerged in this part of the world. After the West has also taken a stand where it has been targeting actually Indian interests. We have seen in Bangladesh the US intervention. So the West is also, let me tell you, the West is also not very comfortable with the rise of India, where it's all bonhomie and everything is fine, the photo ops, but in reality they are not very comfortable. So in that scenario, there is an opportunity for China, because the West is also targeting China. So there is a line of argument which has been emerging now that China and India probably needs to have a tactical alliance on certain issues. But the problem is that even when it comes to leave apart the territorial thing, if we come to the economic interest, China and India both are competing now in Africa, Latin America, all across the world, as far as the economic interests are concerned. So there is a global race, and then the issue of lot of factories which are leaving, lot of industries which are leaving China and coming to India. So all these things are there, and then China is supplying arms to those countries which are adversaries of India. Though it's a different matter that many of them have turned out to be pretty defective. So, so all these things. So even on economic front, though the difference between India-Pakistan and India-China relationship is that there is no trade relation with Pakistan, and there is still a huge trade relationship with China. So that's probably the way forward. But I see there are too many contradictions. So I don't know how it is going to pan out. And because the Chinese are stubborn. The Chinese are not able to ready to relent. They there is a thaw in the relationship, and then you will see a map coming out in which they will show Himachal Pradesh as a part of China. Correct. And then things get back to the same level. So that's the problem.
Andrew K. Long, now if Bharat and China have to work together regionally and cooperate, do you think the border issue should be resolved? Because both nations will always be on tenterhooks. One will not trust the other. There cannot be a trust. There will always be a trust deficit if there is an issue on territorial sovereignty and integrity.
Well, precisely, because the resolution of a long-standing territorial disputes can only be built on greater degree of mutual trust, and mutual trust also depends on areas where both countries find time and room to work more closely together. And the point I'm trying to make is that this whole idea of closed blocks, dividing countries into camps, doesn't work anymore. even if you look at, I've got people in governments in Bangladesh. If we talk to them, are your firm ally of China? They say no. I mean, of course, they are very closely related to China, but they have their own space. And then I think that you can find this mentality of exerting countries' individual sovereignty in the global south, for example. There are so many developing countries. It doesn't mean that they're allying with any particular country. They're not that they would like to oppose China or oppose the United States. And I think that both countries needs to respect each other's sovereignty and also or claims of sovereignty, particularly in areas which are not clearly defined. But I think it's more fruitful not to look at these disputed issues which have been plaguing both countries for decades, but looking for areas of cooperation. And the world is now changing so rapidly with the fourth and fifth industrial revolution, with the rising pandemics. There are so many areas where both countries can find room to work together, and then working together will build trust, and with greater trust, this would work wonders in the relationship between two countries.
No, but the intent here, there's a problem, Andrew K.P. Long. The intent here has to come from China first, because China is the one that's moving into Indian sovereign territory, which it claims that it's perceptually mine. It's China that waded into Bharatiya territory in 62, in 67, in 86. All these skirmishes have happened because strategically there is territory that belongs to Bharat, which China is eyeing. So how can there be trust in this case? So can we set that aside and move forward? Because when we tried to do that with Pakistan, we got hurt, Arun Anand. And China is not an entity that like Pakistan can be adjusted or strategically, this one, because Pakistan is far smaller than Bharat is, and compared to size, China is far bigger than Bharat is. Final comment.
China, I don't think China would be much interested in resolving the border issue, because if you look at the larger strategic picture, when you keep this border issue alive and the situation is hot on the border, so then India is facing a two-front war. So it's like, the pressure on the LSE with Pakistan, that eases out. We have seen, India had to withdraw troops from Jammu and Kashmir and then send it to LSE with China. Because countries prepare like that, that in eventuality of a war or a conflict or this thing, so they are keeping the Pakistan and China, they will keep both the borders open and hot, and I don't think they're going to let this issue settle, because that
really. So then Bharat has to rise and say that if China can have open and hot borders with 26 nations and border disputes and still prosper, then we've got 2 or 3 countries, including China, to contend with. So we should do much better than China then going forward. That has to be then the attitude. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I've got to wind up. We are going to, before we wrap up this edition of The Right Stand, have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Prime Minister Narendra Modi playing around a bullet chess with the grandmasters, the gold medal chess Olympiad winning grandmasters.
At L'Oréal Group.
वोट डालने की आदत नहीं रही अब। हम श्रीनगर के लोगों को 35 साल अपना वोट इस्तेमाल करने की आदत नहीं रही। हमें थोड़ा सा सीखना पड़ेगा दोबारा, मतलब घर से निकल के पोलिंग बूथ में जाना। लेकिन मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि बाकी जो सराउंडिंग एरियाज हैं वहां के पोलिंग को देखने के बाद श्रीनगर के लोग भी निकलेंगे और अपने वोट का इस्तेमाल करेंगे, क्योंकि आखिरकार उनको भी अपने एमएलए पे जो है अपने एमएलए से काम मांगने का हक है, और वो हक जो है वोट से शुरू होता है। उन्हें अपने एमएलए को चुनने में जो है अपनी आवाज बुलंद करनी चाहिए और फिर अपने एमएलए से जो है काम मांगने चाहिए। और कुछ
national conference be able to take the lion's share in the second phase, because it's all national conference election.
इंशाल्लाह। Thank you.
Now remember, other than speaking about why there must be a foreign delegation visiting Jammu and Kashmir to oversee elections, Omar Abdullah has also spoken about how Rahul Gandhi needs to focus on Jammu more. Now to that, BJP has now taken a dig on the National Conference and Congress alliance, and they have said that their alliance is of confusion with no mission. Also, the kind of statements that are coming shows the frustration of Omar Abdullah and also in turn the Congress party. And further they go on to state that Omar Abdullah is slamming Congress and asking them to focus on Jammu. And that is something that speaks volumes about this particular alliance of confusion as per the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's take a look at Shahzad Poonawala responding to the statements that have been made by Omar Abdullah on the Congress party.
The alliance is an alliance of confusion, no mission or no vision, and therefore we can see the kind of statements that are coming out in frustration because people of Jammu Kashmir are giving them a cold shoulder to these PPP, Parivarwadi, Pakistan Parasti and Patharbazi patronizing parties. And therefore, Omar Abdullah has to contest from 2 seats, and Omar Abdullah is slamming Congress, saying that you focus on Jammu, you have not started your campaign in Jammu, nothing is happening by Congress party in Jammu. Already, before the nikah is final, the talaq has started. It is because people have given them cold shoulder, and after removal of Article 370 and 35A, only support they're getting is from Pakistan. They're getting no other support. They're getting support from terrorists. And we have seen the kind of endorsement they have done. They want to impose 370. On that, Congress is silent. They want to remove Arakshan for Valmiki Samaj. Congress is silent. Congress party is silent on Omar Abdullah's statement on Afzal Guru. And now Afzal Guru's supporter, Omar Abdullah, is slamming Congress and saying that you are not doing anything in Jammu. This is the kind of antagonism that they have in their alliance, only because they are there for sake of ambition and power and for their own special status, not for the special status of the people of Jammu Kashmir.
So Jammu and Kashmir went to polls today in the second phase. A team of diplomats from foreign countries like the US, Mexico, South Korea, etc., about a dozen plus or so countries were there on an observer mission. Now, this is not the first time that foreign observers have gone to Jammu and Kashmir, even in the aftermath of Abrogation 370. But even before that, for a number of elections in the past, foreign observers have gone to not just Jammu and Kashmir but other parts of India as well. It is part of an ongoing exercise that the Election Commission has had for the last 20 years. But some political honchos, some politicians in the valley in particular have taken exception to it. One of them is the National Conference leader Omar Abdullah, the former Chief Minister, who says this is almost like seeking foreign validation for the elections in Kashmir, and that the Modi government, he is accusing the Modi government of seeking some kind of foreign stamp of approval after the abrogation of Article 370. His contention is, while on the one hand, you say